Chapter 29. That's right, I'm talking to you, Trixie yelled at Nori. What? You thought you got rid of me that easily? The Yellow Ranger stared at her, unmoving. What the hell are you doing, Trixie? Twilight looked like she was on the verge of a panic attack. Her breathing was hard and ragged. Trixie smirked. Making my triumphant entrance so I could kick Nuttery's flank. Twilight put her face to her host. I can't believe this. Trixie summoned her sword and pointed at her foe, and raised her head in a haughty way. Come at me if you dare! Nori continued to stare at Trixie. This blatant act of apparent stupidity was too much even for the unflappable Nori to take in. Yeah, that's right. Think I'm stupid, Trixie thought. She tilted her head, considering the situation. Okay, think I'm stupider, she amended. After a moment, Nori made her move. She charged right at Trixie with frightening, single-minded determination. Trixie easily gripped her sword, but tried her best to appear calm, even cocky. I teleported in front of Nori's charge, and at least every she had in the mare, Nori ignored her, batted her aside with Chakra's edge. Now nothing was between Nori and Trixie. Sorry, Twilight. Do that, Trixie thought. Maybe I can use this to my advantage. Trixie made a taunting gesture with her sword, and Nori obliged, coming in from the right. Her chakram aimed for Trixie's midsection. Trixie blocked it, and the force of the blow threw her aside. She landed on her host, but Nori gave her no time to recover, coming in from under Trixie's right flank. Trixie shifted her body in time to dodge the attack. She blocked Nori's next swing, but kept her ground this time. Trixie winced in pain, for the secretary was not holding back, but she could tell Nori didn't seem to take her as much of a threat. Trixie knew there was no way she could keep this up for long. For only a few more seconds at most. She felt twinge of regret she wasn't able to fight Nori at full strength. It would have been a fun challenge. What the heck are you thinking, Trixie? She announced herself. You killed the puppy. Get it together! Trixie almost didn't block Nori's next attack. I scratched her leg for her trouble. She then did something unexpected and desperate. She blocked Nori's next attack and found herself face to face with Nori. Their weapons scraped together. Trixie did her best to interlock with them as much as possible. She pressed the button on her morpher and smirked. Steering blade! Trixie thrust forward with all the power she had left. Nori's chakra crumbled under Trixie's sword and broke into pieces. Nori tried to jump back in time, but Trixie's sword struck home and hit Nori right in the chest. The most disturbing thing was that Nori didn't scream or cry out in pain. No, she made no sound at all when the Trixie's blade hit her. She just collapsed to the ground where she lay motionless at the moment. Trixie felt faint and almost collapsed as well from exhaustion. It was like she had just pulled all three igniters in a row. Unmorphing seemed like a guaranteed death sentence for a moment, so Trixie gritted her teeth and did her best to ignore it. Nori recovered faster than Trixie expected. The Yellow Ranger was not pleased. Nori tried to summon her weapon, but it didn't appear. Trixie couldn't help but grin. Ha! Looks like I've disarmed you for good, Trixie cheered. About time you gave up. Please, let's just end this, Twilight pleaded, moving next to Trixie. Lowering her guns to seem more non-threatening. Trixie froze her shock when Nori unleashed a devastating kick at Twilight. She didn't stop there and followed up with several more vicious blows before Twilight teleported away. The second Twilight disappeared, Nori made a beeline straight for Trixie, but only once as harder, unable to move or do much of anything. Nori crashed to the ground mid-dash from Rainbow drops his thrown axe. Sorry, Trixie, but I couldn't stand around anymore waiting for your signal. Raindrop flew down next to Trixie. Thanks. Twilight teleported behind Nori, ready to strike her with a kick. Nori just grabbed Twilight by the leg and threw her right at the surprised Raindrops at Trixie. Trixie winced in pain as Twilight crashed into her. Raindrops had the presence of mind to jump out of the way in time. Twilight did her best to untangle herself from Trixie. Raindrops moved in front of Nori, and the two circled each other. They charged at each other and exchanged blows. Without her weapon, Nori found Raindrops to be a more difficult opponent. She kept up and avoided most attacks thrown at her. But Raindrops' axe scored lucky hits more than once. Nori refused to give in, and actually took hits so she could return them back with twice ferocity. Raindrops reeled at her, a devastating hit but stunned her. Stay here and out of trouble, Twilight whispered, jumped to the fray, apparently deciding not to teleport Trixie away this time to save energy. Yeah, I know. I'll stay put, I guess, Trixie grumbled. She watched her two friends engage with Nori. Despite being pressed by two opponents, it only made Nori fight harder. She used the two Rangers against each other. She possessed herself so Twilight had the difficulty of shooting without hitting Raindrops as well. Twilight's lack of fighting experience worked against her. Something Trixie would surely rectify after they got out of this. Trixie just sat there, watching this almost helpless. Her power and resolve were fading, but she refused to drop her armor. She couldn't afford it. She would be a nice fussy target for Nari, full of red stuff she'd rather have remain in her body. So despite the tremendous mental and physical effort, Trixie remained her armor for the time being. Trixie winced that Twilight had a painful impact with the ground. She panted and didn't look in a hurry to get back into the fight. Thankfully, raindrops kept going, opposing any hit inflicted on her. Trixie wondered how long she could keep this up because Nuttery still showed no sign of slowing down. How do you do that? Twilight asked, drawing Trixie's attention away from the fight. What? Trixie hadn't heard the question and eyed Twilight with curiosity. How do you keep fighting despite having no chance? Twilight clarified. You see a hopeless situation, you gotta keep fighting and win despite that. It was an odd thing to ask at a time like this, but Trixie just rolled with it and thought on this. She wasn't really sure. Was it something she did? Maybe it was something she got from her grandfather, Quartermoon the Magnificent. He was an earth pony, but one of the greatest magicians that had ever lived, despite facing ridicule from his so-called superior unicorn rivals for not having a horn. Oh, how he showed them what true magic was. It wasn't real magic that made a magician great, but style and determination. Well, I am a stage magician, Trixie explained. I would hardly get anywhere if I backed down from the first jeering crowd. Being a performer requires snares and steals. And, Twilight pressed, intellect. Trixie asked, confused. I was hoping for something moving and uplifting that would give me the courage to fight on, Twilight explained, exasperated. That wasn't it? No, Twilight said flatly. Okay, don't give up and fight on despite adversity. Trixie tried and hoped that would be enough to push Twilight to action and win the fight. I was expecting something I wouldn't find in a fortune cookie, Twilight said dryly. Trixie tried and failed not to be offended by that last remark. Just get in there, Trixie growled. I stood up and fired on Dory, who was trying to strike Raindrops from behind. It didn't seem to have much effect, but it slowed her down enough to allow Raindrops to dodge away in time. Raindrops gave a small nod of thanks and pressed her attack. She granted a pain when she received a punch to the gut. It caught Nori off guard by grabbing the Yellow Ranger's hoof. Raindrops held on tight, immobilizing her opponent. Nori was about to respond with a beating with her other hoof, but Twilight took advantage of Nori's temporary immobilization, fired on her again and again. Though the individual shots didn't do as much damage, Nori showed signs of pain from this many hits. Nori surprised everybody by ripping Raindrops off the ground and tossing her across the courtyard with her leg as the adversary tried to restrain. Twilight looked panicked for a moment as Nori came right towards her. Trixie wondered why Twilight didn't teleport away, but realized she couldn't. If she did that, Nori would be free to target Trixie herself. Twilight tried to engage Nori hoof to hoof, but only got several kicks in the ribs for her tribute. Twilight screamed as Nori knocked her to the ground and stomped at her repeatedly. Raindrops tried to rush in to help, but Nori kicked the prone Twilight into her. Raindrops recovered quickly and, with care, serried her friend on the ground. Twilight did not morph, but looked like she was out of the fight. Nori and Raindrops stared each other down. Raindrops summoned her axe and raided it. Neither said a word, and the silence dragged on for what seemed to Trixie like an eternity. Raindrops went on the offensive, pressing every advantage she had to end the fight quickly. Each swing of her axe pushed Nori back. Raindrops shot so hard that Nori almost had no chance to launch a counterattack. Nori took a blow to the side of the head that caused her to stumble around dazed for a moment. Raindrops showed no mercy and had to her opponent over and over again, delivering another serious blow to the head. Nori stumbled to her hose and dived at Raindrops. Raindrops dropped her weapon as Nori pushed her to the ground. They wrestled, trying to pin the other to the ground, but that wasn't Nori's intention. Despite Raindrops' considerable strength, she was unable to stop Nori from pressing her front legs into a painful, unnatural angle. Raindrops screamed as Nori twisted her back legs and forth, violently inserting motions at odd angles. Angles opponent's legs weren't meant to go. Nori jerked Raindrops' legs down to the ground, and Raindrops howled in pain. Raindrops jumped back to avoid the blow to her shoulder. But the damage was done. Nori had sound serious damage to the muscles of Raindrops' front legs. Raindrops summoned her axe back, but the injuries to her legs made swings sluggish. Nori made quick work of her opponent. Raindrops fell to the ground and unmorphed. Nori kicked her aside. Trixie winced at the sound of breaking bones. Rain! Trixie started to believe. Thankfully, Raindrops appeared to be breathing. Trixie's heart turned to rage and her vision turned red. You helped Here, I'm going to end you! Tracy could barely speak straight, sense was her fury. Tracy pushed herself to her hooves. This was done. She would make sure of that. Twilight yelled in surprise when Tracy yanked her up by her hoof. Summon your weapon. This fight is not done. She summoned her sword, planted it on the ground, and partly hold herself up. What? Twilight asked, bewildered. You're not going to hurt any more of my friends, Notary! Tracy snarled. Tracy. Twilight seemed lost for words. Notary stared at Tracy with what seemed like apparent disbelief. We are going to smash her, Tracy promised. We can do it if we combine our strength. Twilight gave a reluctant nod. Tracy channeled her anger into rock-hard determination. At this point, she didn't care if she shattered Notary's morpher or ruined her chances of ever clearing her name. She didn't care if this meant years behind bars or exile. All that mattered to Tracy was saving her friends. Her target was to freeze over before she let Notary even touch a hair on anybody else. She was about to feel the full force of Trixie's power. She could feel Twilight's fear and apprehension. She gave Twilight a reassuring pat on the back. We can do this, she promised. Just believe. Trixie's words shows how much faith she had in her friend. Twilight seemed to consider this and nodded. She sealed her resolve and strengthened. Let's do this, Trixie responded with a wolfish grin. Nori continued to stare at him, and Trixie glared back at her, refusing to show any fear or hesitation. She gripped her sword tight, ready for anything, ready to end this fight. In a blink, Nori charged them, surprising by jumping into the air and leaping over them. She landed at the crowds and sprang at them from behind while it plunged at Twilight's head. Tracy moved in a blur and blocked the punch with her sword. She could tell the speed of her block caught Nori off guard. She swung her sword up, and sparks flew from Nori's hoof. Nori grabbed her instant appendage in obvious pain. Twilight unleashed both her guns at Nori, focusing on hitting one spot, and Nori recoiled in pain. Nori wasn't able to shrug off her injuries this time. Nori sped the hoof to the ground in front of them, creating a blinding cloud of dust and debris. Tracy didn't waver. Neither did Twilight. Both racers pushed the button in their morphers. Seconds passed and they waited for Nori's next move. They stood like statues, and it seemed like Tracy didn't even breathe. Nori appeared through the cloud above them, planning to strike them from above. Tracy and Twilight moved as one body and mind as Nori came in between them. Justice's cry! Tracy and Twilight cried out in unison. Twilight's guns fused with Tracy's sword. The weapons flattened out and joined together with a blade of Tracy's weapon to create a new, longer sword. The new weapon radiated rainbow-colored energy. Twilight and Tracy swung their new sword right in Nori's extended hoof. A wave of rainbow energy overcame Nori like a torrent, and the blast consumed her at a blinding speed. Nori flew through the air before crashing to the ground. She kept going, her momentum keeping her moving, bounced several times before coming to a not-so-graceful stop. The damage to Greengrass's garden looked considerable. Once the Trixie stopped, Nori stood up on sticky hooves and limped toward them. It appeared that pig-headed stubbornness was the only thing keeping her going. She moved at an agonizingly slow pace, and Trixie tensed. Nori made a few arcs before falling to the ground and unmorphing. The morpher didn't break as Trixie feared as it rolled to the ground. The damage to it looked considerable, though, and most of its body contained cracks. Trixie fell back and unmorphed. The fight finally over. She laughed, but also felt tears roll down her cheeks. She wasn't sure why she was crying, for she was just so overcome with emotion. Twilight hugged her and said something, but came out muffled to Trixie's ears. She was so tired, both physically and emotionally. It didn't take long for the paramedics to arrive and to put Raindrops on a stretcher and into an ambulance, which was a cart flown by two Pegasi. Trixie and Twilight joined Raindrops in the vehicle, and they flew towards the nearest hospital. Trixie felt almost dead to the world in a moment, but eyed her friend as the paramedics fused her over. Sleuth put a hoof on Trixie's shoulder. Don't worry, she's a good host. Trixie gave an almost impeccable nod, but Sleuth seemed to read it just fine and smiled. He pulled out a bag of his trench coat, and inside was Nori's morpher. Nori's in custody. You arrested her soon after the ambulance arrived. You did some good work, Trixie. Wasn't faultless property damage, but I'm not too broken up about what happened to Greengrass's mare. Take good care of her, would you? Trixie rasped. I hate to go through all of that, only to end up missing. Don't worry, Sleuth said. Escorted right to the princess's house as soon as we get to the hospital. She's already been informed of the situation. We'll meet you there. Trixie gave a faint smile, sat back and relaxed. Good. She wanted to meet with the princess. After a 10-hour nap, of course. So many things to discuss. One subject in particular was getting the statue made in Poki's honor. Trixie could picture it now. It could replace the destroyed statue of Luna into Caroline Central Park. Okay, so what's the next chapter?